In part 3 of the Vanishing at room 313, we saw something impossible. Something stepped out of the mirror in that hidden chamber. A single wet footprint appeared on the dusty floor. The mirror's surface bent and warped, and a voice whispered a chilling warning. "He's trying to come back." That alone was terrifying enough. But what investigators uncovered next suggests that Daniel Cross and the man he saw, Arthur Hayes, might not be the first to attempt a return from behind the glass, and they certainly won't be the last. Two nights after the mirror incident, the hotel was on high alert. A housekeeper was doing a late-night inventory check on the first floor. A child, standing at the far end of the hall near the elevators. He was barefoot, and his clothes were soaking wet, dripping onto the carpet. He just stood there, not making a sound. The housekeeper, concerned, called out to him, asking if he was lost, if he needed help. The boy didn't answer. He didn't even seem to hear her. Instead, he slowly, deliberately raised his small hand and pointed upward, toward the third floor. The housekeeper immediately radioed security, but by the time they arrived, less than a minute later, the hallway was empty again. The child was gone, but there was proof he'd been there. The carpet where he stood was still damp. Security followed a trail of small, wet footprints leading from that spot toward the elevators. But then, the trail just stopped. About a few feet before the elevator doors, the footprints didn't turn. They didn't scatter. They just ended, as if the child had vanished mid-step, dissolving into thin air. This bizarre encounter sent a new wave of urgency through the investigation. The hotel management decided to pull out the old guest logs, going back decades, searching for any incident, any record of a missing child that might explain what the housekeeper saw. Entire lines from that year's log had been erased, not crossed out with a pen, not blacked out with a marker. They were physically scraped away, erased from the paper itself. The indentations left by the pen were still there, faint ghosts of letters and numbers pressed into the fibers of the page. A forensic specialist was brought in. Using advanced imaging techniques, they were able to enhance the indentations, digitally recreating the words that someone had tried so desperately to remove. The lost text revealed the names of a family of 3. No report of a runaway, no Amber Alert, not a single official trace that the boy had ever been there and then suddenly wasn't. It was as if he had been swallowed whole by the hotel and then erased from history itself. The search intensified. Every dusty corner of the hotel's storage became a potential crime scene. In a sealed box of old maintenance supplies from the 70s, tucked away in a forgotten basement room, an investigator found it. A small, folded piece of faded paper wedged behind a rusted tool cabinet. It was a note written in a child's handwriting. The letters were shaky, rushed, barely legible, as if written in a panic. It said, "I saw the man in the mirror. He said he wasn't supposed to be here. He wants me to help him go home." That was chilling enough. But then they turned the note over. Scratched into the back, etched with something sharp like a fingernail, was a second, more frantic message. Just 5 words: "Don't let him follow you." Beneath the warning was a child's drawing. A second one, hidden in the darkness, trapped behind the first. As if whoever or whatever was on the other side had heard them and had just unlocked the door from their side. The stone wall shifted. A thin, vertical slit of absolute blackness appeared in the center, barely an inch wide, and through that gap, something looked out. It pressed itself against the opening like soft clay, its surface shifting and undulating, trying to form expressions, a mouth, a nose, eyes that never fully appeared. The high-sensitivity microphones on the cameras picked up a sound, a whisper. But it wasn't the chorus of voices they had heard before. Weak, strained, and filled with a desperate urgency. It spoke only 7 words. "He took my face. Don't open the door." It stepped out of the wall where the hollow chamber was, moving into the third-floor hallway. It was as if the camera itself couldn't decide what the figure's face looked like, rendering it a shifting, unrecognizable smear. It turned a corner, heading toward the hotel exit, and then, before it even reached the doors, it simply disappeared. It didn't walk out of the frame. It didn't run. It just vanished from sight. The investigators went over the footage again and again, enhancing it frame by frame, and that's when they saw it. On the figure's left arm, smeared in the dust from the hidden chamber, was a handprint, small, unmistakably child-sized. So, who came back? Who finally stepped through that second door? Was it Daniel Cross, the man from the original tape? Was it Arthur Hayes, the man in the mirror? Was it the little boy who vanished in 1971, the one who left the warning note? Or was it something else entirely, something that now wears their shapes, a faceless entity that has finally found a way out? One thing is certain. If one being managed to step out from behind the mirror, how many others are still waiting on the other side? And what will they do to get out next? Thanks for watching. If you're as captivated by this mystery as we are, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next.